Hi everyone, this is SportsReplays. This is how I did this round. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride this week. Just with everything, you had Tom Green going out, you had Whitfield performing poorly, but you had Luke Ryan getting 197. So I ended up actually jumping up in the ranks, which is surprising considering I did quite poor compared to some of the other previous weeks. But it looks like some of the top players also performed poorly for the pretty obvious reasons, which we'll discuss in this video. At least I went up in the rankings, so I'm still sitting in the right direction. So just get rid of this. So undo everything here. Alright, so this is how I end up finishing the round on. So 197 with Ryan, he was phenomenal. I mean, that was a great trading. It was one of the best tradings I've ever done. Straight away, 197, top scorer of the year. And in fact, that probably won't be one of the highest Supercoach scores of the year, I reckon. 197. Need to confirm that. That'd be up there, though. Look, he's a must-have defender. Seems like clearly the best defender this year in your line. Pick him at all cost. You're missing out on him. That's enough said on Ryan. Sort of saved my round too from being an absolute disaster. And it's probably the reason why I actually went up in the rankings this week, because not everyone has Luke Ryan, which I'm surprised that not everyone has him. It's probably more of a must-have than Isaac Heaney. Or just about. It's probably on the same level, but more people have Isaac Heaney. And then you got Nick Dacos, 150. So he's back to his best. Dacos. So there's a reason why, again, Collingwood won. Without him, they wouldn't have won that match. 150. What more can we ask? So if you bought him at a discounted price, you'd be laughing. Nothing much more what I can say about Dacos. Now, Ultra Sheasel, 73, disappointing. I believe that's his worst score for the year, and it's not quite good enough. And North Melbourne did lose by a fair amount. I mean, they didn't get absolutely smashed, but it's not really ideal, I guess. I mean, if that's his lowest score, we'll take it. Just hopefully it's not a pattern. Then on to Nick Martin, 122. He's done his job. He's probably going to be in the top, at least top, 8 defenders, I reckon. It's a player you need to have in your team. I'm just happy what he's done. There's nothing more I can really say. And then Whitfield, 54, which was just shocking. Just garbage. This whole match should have destroyed, weekend with Supercoach. If none of this carnage happened, I would have gone even further up in the ranks. And it was just chaos. I mean, Whitfield, didn't get injured or anything, but this wasn't a Whitfield sort of style game. It was tough and congested with the rain. Whitfield's more that outside running sort of player, which isn't suited to wet weather. It was the complete opposite conditions for Whitfield. So I mean, I don't expect 100 every week from Whitfield, but at least scrap a 70 or an 80. 54s is simply not good enough for that price point. And then Clozzy, 43, disappointing as well. Very, very frustrating. I can't have 2 defenders, scoring below 60. It's killing me. So his cash generation's, going to dry up, and he may even be a trade out. If not this week, it'll be the next week. So look, after a hot start, one of the biggest price rises we've seen is slowly just fallen off the radar a little bit, or he's just dropped off a bit, Closey. So it'd be probably a hold for now. There's probably a few other problems I've got on my side, or other players that I want to get rid of at the moment. We've got Josh Draper, probably one of the big, a massive slow burn. Still went up in price, but he's going to be a hold for now. He's not really going to make too much more money, I don't think, either, unless he gets a couple 60, 70, or even at 80 games. That would increase it. His cash generation. So he's a hold. Unless I get like a 110k player and get cash for him and take him out, it's another option. But it's just hold. At least I got some cover during the buys, I guess, or a player gets injured before a game or something like that, I can quickly just swap it to Draper. And Reed didn't play, but he may be playing soon. Hopefully, he returns to injury soon, and he might be another cash generation option. And onto the midfield. So the midfield wasn't particularly that great, although Sarong 137, decent caption option. Not the best. Luke Ryan would have been, but it was a phenomenal, good performance from Freo. Great performance from Sarong. And Ryan sort of same around a little bit. I mean, it would have been 5 points better off with Bont, although Bont had less friends with him helping him out. So, I mean, I'm happy with that. That sort of saved me a little bit. And then Bont 142, happy with that as well. So he's bounced back. Sarong seems like a good trade in so far. And then Walsh has been disappointing, just like Carlton have been for the last couple of weeks. I mean, they didn't play that bad, Carlton, but 91's not good enough for Sam Walsh, and it's a bit frustrating because I was hoping he would at least get above 100. I mean, really, we're buying him at a price of like 110 to 120. I mean, look, I reckon he will bounce back. Collingwood are a tough side. Who they've got next? Melbourne. That's probably one of the tougher matchups too. That's going to be an interesting game. So it's going to might be another tough week. Once Carlton play some easier sides, hopefully Walsh can start to dominate. But he's still recovering back from the injury, so he did have a good start. A couple games in from his injury, but it's just frustrating. You pick players and they underperform, and then another underperforming player was Dawson. Had a terrible start to the game. It's like 25 at half time or 30 within that range, and then he did all right in the second half, bounced back. Still not quite good enough. For a bit below par from Dawson, but look, it's not my biggest problem this round. And then Miller again, 93. Gold Coast, I don't know what they're doing. They're just hot and cold Gold Coast. And 93 again, he's not quite good enough from a premium player and a player like Miller. And then you got Tom Green, which is the biggest low out of the round. I mean, he got injured and it just sort of stuffed up this whole round for me, and maybe potentially after the season. Well, maybe not this season, but definitely for this week. I mean, look, if he's playing, it'd be a hold. If it's for like 1 or 2 weeks, I'll probably still hold him. I mean, you could trade if you got, a boost or trades up your sleeve, but ideally you just want to hold on to him if that's the case. We've still got some decent, midfielders on the bench to just, outlie that, that outline of, just to cover him. And then we've got, Reed 59. So why do I have him in there? I guess I use Darcy Wilson as a loophole, and 59 is a bit disappointing. So he's going to be a hold as well, Reed, by the looks of it. So his cash generation is going to start slowing up again, and he might be time to move on. Although I don't know if he'd be a top 6 forward, and he might just miss out on that. He performed out of his skin for a couple of weeks. He got back down to earth against Essendon. And then we got Roberts again, another player that's got back down to earth, which is a bit frustrating. It's just little things like this. The whole round was a bit of a disaster. Just players underperforming, or rookies aren't really doing that well, or players who just dropped off, or played at their worst game of the year. I think that was Roberts' worst game of the year. So, I mean, he's probably going to be a trade out along with Ambrosio as well, because I think he didn't really gain any more money. So that's it for Ambrosio. He actually stayed the same price, which I don't even think I've ever seen that before for an actual, after the original round, after 3 rounds played, or 3 games played. So Ambrosio, he's probably going to go out, and maybe a Roberts for the time being. And then you've got Graham, again, cash generation is going to slow up a bit now. But he's still going to be a hold. And then Garcia is still going to be a hold. There's still money to be made. Then on to the rucks. Max score 1 on 11. Probably a little disappointing from Max's performance compared to this year. It's a bit below average. I mean, Melbourne still won, and he still did all right. Gorn still the clear number one ruckman, I reckon. And then you've got Sweet, who I traded in for Grundy. I mean, Grundy I think went bananas, so I lost 60 points there, but it's that extra cash to bring in Ryan over Williams, which would have gained over 140 points there. So it would have been worth it. I would have still been like another 80 points ahead, plus to get extra cash from getting rid of Cabin to get Garcia as well. So I reckon it was still a better player because I was able to get more money out of from Ryan and Williams than Sweet to Grundy, or from Grundy to Sweet. That's still an okay option there. And look, he didn't perform that well as the first two games, Sweet, but he still made a lot of cash. Still did okay. I mean, you probably want a bit more for a player on the field, particularly in the right position. So give it a few weeks. Depending on the buys too, I'll look at trading him onto probably in English because Marshall's performed poorly the last couple of weeks. Well, not as good as what he was at the start of the season. He's actually dropped off a bit, which is a bit concerning. So look, I think Gorn and English are definitely the main rucks you'll want this year, no doubt about. And then onto the forward line, we've got Flanders 128, which is great. He's been one of the most consistent forwards this year. Must have, no questions. Phenomenal from him. And then you've got Jackson 86, which isn't that great, but he's still reckon, in my opinion, going to be a top 6 forward. Because there's simply no one else there, even though Sean Darcy's in the side. And you got Tom Powell, 72, a little bit better this week. But he still lost a bit of money. And it's a big concerns with him if he's going to be a top 6 forward or not. Maybe even top 8. What should make top 10 or be around about it. So it's hard with Tom Powell. Should I trade him a hold? I'll probably hold on to him for now, unless he has an absolute really poor game. But because I'd rather get a few other rookies off field first before Powell. And then you got Darcy 49, which is another disappointing player. Again, it's a common theme of this week because he's going to be Halter cash gen. Ball was good disappointing too. I thought Darcy would get like 80. He'll score a couple, 2 or 3 goals against Hawthorn because Hawthorn have been pretty struggling this year. And now they're just, against a side, it's expected to at least make the top 8. And they end up beating him. So Darcy's not quite good enough. I think he still kicked 1 or 2 goals. At least he got a goal, but it still wasn't quite good enough to get him at least a 60 or a 70 type score. So he potentially might be a trade out too. I need to look at the break evens, but he's probably going to be. If he's not out this week, he'll be probably out next week. Probably Roberts or Ambrosio I want to get rid of out before Darcy, to be honest. And then we've got maybe even Coleman here too, who got 52 again. So he's only really had one good game, Coleman, 129 or over that 120 score. Now they have his system. Will it be a hold or a trade out? I mean, look, I just don't think he's made enough money. And he's potentially probably a hold at this time being. I mean, you could trade him out and bring in another premium or another forward rookie that's coming on. But look, at this stage, it's hit or miss. It's just tough because there's just other problems in my side at the moment that I need to fix up, or other players I want to probably get rid of more. And then you got Mano uses a loophole, which Darcy Wilson again saved my round, got him as a bench option, 126. And Rolly Garcia actually scored more than Darcy and Coleman as well. And actually scored more than Roberts and Reed and actually Green. With Field and Closey. Who would have thought about that? So that's that there. So trading Garcia for Cadman, which ended up being a decent move in regards to getting more money, I guess. And who I'm going to bring in? I'll think about it. We're going to probably have to get rid of either Ambrosio or Roberts. That's for sure. At least get rid of one of those two and trade up to another premium. We've got 440k, so we've got plenty of money. So I can either bring in a Zach Merritt, because after this week after GWS this week he's then got North Melbourne. And then he may have a few easy games too after that. Could be potentially a tough run, but he's still got a few he's just been probably the most consistent midfielder, one of. And then maybe or Zach Butters I can trade in too. That'd be one of those trade-ins I'll probably end up doing. And then in terms of maybe a Closy, it depends. Maybe I'll probably hold on Closy. If not, I'll either bring a rookie, depending on who to bring in. And the four lines, like, should I bring in a Heaney? Get rid of a Darcy, take the gamble there, take the money, or a Coleman. Maybe a Darcy because Coleman's probably, I reckon he might still be able to make more money. Could be wrong though. And then bringing out Isaac Keaney. He's dropped in price in the last couple of weeks. Quite a lot of things I can do. I think definitely one of the midfielders have to go off either Roberts or Ambrosio. I just think, I can't have players with, a higher break even than their current average on field. They've already made their money. I think Ambrosio might be done. He's not quite the same as he was at the start of the season. They do play St Kilda next week. That's going to be an interesting game. And then, it'd be either them two, Roberts or Ambrosio would probably have to go. Who would have seen you got Freo? Oh, the ball might be a lot. Freo's there. That might be. He might score a lot against Fremantle. But either way, he's made his money. You can probably move him on. So thank you for watching. Let me know how you guys went. Like and subscribe.